Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Radical FX and today I'm back. Oh, this is my first tutorial. This right here is my first ever tutorial on YouTube and my name is Radical FX and welcome to Cinema 4D. I'm using Cinema 4D 2023.1 and I'm here to show you the Arnold scatter plugin in Cinema 4D. So I've been using Arnold for quite a while, and it's, of course, Redshift is integrated so much in Cinema 4D, but I prefer Arnold to Redshift. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the tutorial. I've not seen any tutorial on Arnold scatter in Cinema 4D, and I think this might be the first tutorial. So as you can see, I've created this simple scene in Cinema 4D. It's just a few trees scattered on a simple terrain with a black background. Not so much of a deal. So I'm going to show you how I did it, and maybe you can also start using Arnold. So this here is the scene that we're going to recreate. So I'll create a new scene, and I'm going to rename it. Enjoy the music as I save my projects. Name it Arnold Scatter 2 and save. So I'm going to just copy the terrain and the trees. So I'll come to this scene, I'll copy this terrain. Down. Come edit, copy. Now come here, edit, paste. So I have my terrain here, as you can see. I also have my two trees. I have two trees inside here and a skydome light. An Arnold skydome light with an HDRI attached to it. So if you are new to Arnold, I'm going to create a series of tutorials introducing you to Arnold for Cinema 4D. So right here in my scene, I'm going to create a camera. So I'll come to Arnold camera, perspective camera, and I will look through my camera and position it. So that it fits in my viewport. Come out of it, and then I'll come to Arnold scatter. It's right here. So Arnold scatter needs instances. So it distributes geometry onto other geometry. So under the instances tab, I'll grab my two trees. This in here, and drop this in here, and you can see nothing is showing right here. So I'll come back to the Arnold scatter under distribution. I'll select the surface using my pick whip here. Click here and choose the terrain, and you can see points distributed all over the terrain. So for me to see instances or actual geometry, I can go to the display tab inside Arnold scatter and choose either axis or bounding box or wireframe or shaded. And choose the bounding box, go back to instances, and I'll choose shapes. So you can see the bounding boxes here. I can choose wireframe. My machine is loading, it's loading. Of course, my machine is quite slow. It's loading. The instances are too many. I hope it doesn't crash. I hope it doesn't. crash, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash, because I have a crush on you. Don't crash, because I have a crush on you. Oh guys, we've recovered from a crash. Cinema 4D crashed. So and I hadn't saved a lot. So I'll come back, I'll copy my terrain, I'll copy the trees and sky dome light, and come back to edit, copy, come to this, edit and paste. So I have my terrain here. This switch my camera, something like this. Come to my standard viewport, and then come to Arnold light, Arnold camera, create a perspective camera, look through it. This is where we are. I'll leave it there. Switch it off, come back to the perspective camera and save, so that first instance of what we've done is saved. So I'll come back to Arnold renderer, Arnold scatter. So what Arnold scatter does, it needs geometry to scatter things on. So I'll come and pick my terrain, and you can see all these dots distributed on this plane or terrain, whatever I call it. So I can come here under instances. I'll just drag my trees in here and reduce the distribution to like 100 points. And in the display, under instances, I'll choose shapes. Under display, I'll come and choose bounding boxes, and you can see all these bounding boxes distributed on this terrain. So my terrain has, of course, a shader on it, and if I'll save again, come back to my Arnold, and I click on the IPR so that we can see exactly what we are doing. And you can see these very, very tiny trees distributed on my terrain. I'll come and select the original trees. This window here. Select the original tree, press T on my keyboard, and increase the size of my instances a bit. So I have two trees distributed terrain. So select this one also and increase on the size, and you can see they are all in the same place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove one of the trees from the instances. I'll select this and remove it, and I'll stay with only one tree. So if I want to distribute another tree, I'll just create another Arnold scatter layer in here. So you can choose your display, the viewport display from here, and you can choose a bounding box, you can choose dots, you can choose a shaded viewport, as you can see here, but you need to have a lot of VRAM for you to display the shaded bits. So that is why I choose the bounding box. So I only have one instance of the Arnold scatter in here. So I can just come back to the Arnold scatter, choose the instances or distribution, and increase my trees to like 1000. Come back to the IPR, and you can see that I've now increased the amount of trees in my scene. I'll come back and increase to like 4,000 instances, which I think is okay. Of course, the render is not very speedy because my computer is my specs are not very good, but I wanted to do this tutorial and I'll show you guys how to use the Arnold scatter. Basically, this is all it. You can add another instance of the scatter, or you can just select it and press Ctrl and drag another instance right here. These are all in the same area. So come to the instances and then remove this one, and I'll put the ash young tree inside here, and then I'll change the distribution or orientation. I'll come to the position and just move these trees, the purple trees on the x-axis, just a bit, or y. Just a touch, and then reduce the number of instances, and the distribution I'll reduce them to 2,000 so that they don't compete with the green ones. So I'll pause the recording and then we'll come back to it after the render is done. So the render is done, and this is how our scene turns out. If you have any question, don't forget to use the chat or the whatever you call it, and then subscribe and share the tutorial, and let's grow together, let's build together, let's work together. Yeah.